As the overall market cheers for the incredible success of the Bitcoin ETFs, there's actually something else that's brewing that I think is much bigger. And it isn't, as we know, it isn't history that repeats itself, it's human behavior. And I think that we all need to be paying it more attention to this. Let's dive into it. Welcome back, everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Not financial advice. Blah, blah, blah. Do your own research. Okay, so got that stuff out of the way, and here we go. Thanks to Mark Goodwin, who actually dropped this in a chat. This is a very interesting article out of Cointelegraph, and I did a little more digging on this. Guys, look, I'm not trying to be a doom and gloomer, or is it a gloom and doomer? I always get those, the D and G reversed. Anyways, doom and gloomer. I'm not trying to be a doom and gloomer. I'm just trying to say that our behavior just simply repeats itself, okay? There's nothing new under the sun. Anyways, let's dive into it because you have no idea what I'm talking about. Over $1 billion in U.S. treasuries have now been tokenized on-chain. But Phil, all we've been hearing about are the ETFs. And it's interesting because anybody who's actually been paying attention to this show, I discussed this in a previous clip that I'm going to go back and find and put a link to in this one so people can see. It actually had to do with XRP and the fact that Ripple is not being used by the banks or anything like that, and that they built their own ecosystem. And this article builds exactly on the back of that. That's right. They are going to build their own ecosystem out of the shit chains. It's not a surprise. Why would they do this? Because they control it. They can have a higher degree of control over it. With Bitcoin, they are at the mercy to a certain extent of Bitcoin's network. Anyways, let's dive into this because I'm sure right now it's just a lot of confusion. This released on March 20th, 2024. BlackRock today unveils its first tokenized fund issued on a public blockchain. The BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, or Biddle. Okay, Biddle will provide qualified investors with the opportunity to earn US dollar yields by subscribing to the fund through Securitized Markets LLC. Now, so let's be honest, right? We all know where the yield comes from in crypto. It's just a bunch of new money. And of course, right, when a organization can issue its own token, of course it can pay you out on the daily or on the weekly or whatever it is. Anyways, this is interesting because it's legacy finance just doing the exact same thing as shitcoining, and shitcoining was simply just imitating legacy finance, and we're just going around in a circle. Okay, so tokenization remains a key focus of BlackRock's digital asset strategy. Through the tokenization of the fund, Biddle will offer investors important benefits by enabling the issuance and trading of ownership on a blockchain. So literally, right, instead of just having people with traditional equities, boom, they inserted blockchain into it. And now that's it, right? Legacy finance is all caught up to the tech. Expanding investor access to on-chain offerings, providing instantaneous and transparent settlement, and allowing for transfers across platforms. And this was where I figured out that they're using that the platform that I was talking about, this XRC in that previous clip. Anyways, BNY Mellon will enable the interoperability for the fund between digital and traditional markets. And yes, this is what I was talking about in that previous clip, which I will link to in this one. Guys, this is just human behavior repeating itself. You know what? It's funny. Somebody a way bigger account than mine, right? Like a huge influencer that all the hopium cheerleaders love are going to be like, oh my God, he called it. You're going to see this is just going to be the next bubble that's going to burst. They are going to create, and I've been saying this multiple times on multiple episodes, they are just going to build the legacy system, legacy banking. All of these players are going to build this absolutely massive bubble, and it is going to collapse. It is going to be the biggest bubble that we've had in history. And the reality is that if you're not paying attention, you don't realize that every bubble we have is the biggest bubble in history. They just keep getting bigger and bigger. That's all it is. Anyways, okay. So Biddle seeks to offer a stable value of $1 per token and pays daily accrued dividends directly to investors. Look at that, huh? Daily dividends directly to investors, just like Crapto, as new tokens each month. That's right, guys. They're just going to mint new tokens each month. This is going to be such a insane collapse. Oh God. Anyways, I'm not laughing about the collapse. I'm laughing at our humans. I'm laughing at our stupidity. Okay. And our ridiculous desire for outsized greed at any cost. Doesn't matter. Anyways, the fund invests 100% of its total assets in cash, U.S. Treasury bills, and repurchase agreements, allowing investors to earn yield while holding the token on the blockchain. You guys are fucking wrecked. Anyways, investors can transfer their tokens 24/7, 365. Wow, look at that. Look at that. I feel like Bitcoin fixed this already. Anyways, to other pre-approved investors, there you go. Pre-approved investors. What have I been telling you guys? What have most of us in Bitcoin been telling you? They are simply just going to build their own walled garden. That's exactly what they did. That's all it is. So this is the perfect example of the people that censor the most require a censorship-resistant ledger the most. BlackRock and the institutions are accumulating ETF for themselves, and they are going to give you a shit coin. Okay? That's all it is. The initial ecosystem participants in Biddle include Anchorage Digital Bank, BitGo, Coinbase, Fireblocks, among other market participants and infrastructure providers in the crypto industry. Now, let's go take a look at some of the players that are putting money into this, okay? So we've got the most recent $79.3 million deposit to BlackRock's fund was made by Real World Assets and its tokenization firm Ando Finance. And it's funny, I've talked about Real World Assets. This is bullshit wording, okay, to make you think that this isn't vaporware, okay? A real world asset is an actual real world asset, okay? Something physical and tangible. This random placement of words to incite some type of feeling in you, this is done on purpose. This is just, it's garbage, okay? It's vaporware with a name that sounds like it confers, I don't know, some type of equality. Anyways, so they're going to allow instant settlements for its own U.S. Treasury-backed token. Look at that. Its own U.S. Treasury-backed token. How did they get that? OUSG. The firm made a total of $95 million in deposits across 4 transactions, according to Etherscan. Ando Finance now owns a 38% share in Biddle. Wow. How did they get such a large share? Maybe Ando Finance becomes the next FTX. Who knows? Who knows? Everybody needs, hey, look, there always needs to be a fall guy or a fall company or whatever it is, right? And again, this is all just speculation, right? I'm all about speculation and Googling stuff and looking it up, and everybody comes to their own conclusions, or just, follow the biggest influencer. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at the Ando Finance team. It's interesting. They lead off with all the engineers, the managing directors, but lo and behold, all the way at the bottom, here's the founder and CEO, Nathan Altman. Let's all say hello to Nathan. All right, so he's the founder and CEO of Ando Finance. He's in New York. Kind of like BNY Mellon. Doesn't matter. It's okay. Nothing is really connected anyways. It's all just a bunch of coincidences. All right. So currently he is the founder and CEO at Ando Finance, which we know. Okay. Previously he was at Goldman Sachs. Look at that. Digital assets focused on creating cryptocurrency market services. Look at that. He was focused on creating market services for institutional investors using blockchain infrastructure, decentralized traditional securities issuance and trading and strategic investing. Huh. Really? And prior to that, he was at Chain Street Capital doing quantitative cryptocurrency hedge funds focused on algorithmic event-driven trading. Wow. Just wow. So look, guys, I know. I'm just a pleb, so I don't really know shit. And, of course, I'm not a giant circle jerker. So, that all of this stuff equals, your information just isn't as good as anyone else's. But I'll tell you this. We are watching human behavior repeat itself. Okay. There is going to be a massive, this is, again, it's just my opinion. I think we're having the bull run. There is going to be there's going to be some type of a crisis that's going to occur, possibly with this. I don't know what the first shoe to drop is going to be. Like, I don't know if it's going to be Coinbase getting hosed with the SEC, so all of a sudden they conveniently have to kind of dismantle Coinbase and sell it to the good old boys club, of Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and all the other people that get to steal other people's assets for pennies on the dollar. That may be the first shoe that drops. Maybe it's this Ando Finance that gets way too big with a whole bunch of people getting yield of fucking vaporware tokens. Maybe it's that, because again, they're pegging to the US dollar, right? How is this any different than the current pegs, right? Like, how is this any different than bullshit like Luna? So guys, look, we are in the beginning of the next bull market. We're seeing this Ando Finance bullshit. Okay, we're also seeing this Thorchain crap, which is literally just fucking shitcoining. It's all just shitcoining. Look, guys, I'm not telling you that you can't take risks. I am not here to police you or try to pretend like I have some say in somebody else's life. We can only control ourselves. That's all we can do, right? We can only control ourselves, and that's about it. But just remember the type of risk that you're taking. And what's really important, okay, if you're going to take these terrible risks, take off the rosy colored lens, okay? These are the same players over and over again that dominate financial markets. And then they conveniently, and it's not even the players, because it also has to do with the way the markets work. With the type of monetary system that we have that has to do with inflation and interest rates and all of this, these stupid mechanics, okay? It is a cycle of booms and busts. This is how our economy works, booms and busts. But the problem is we haven't been letting the busts bust. So the booms just keep getting bigger. The bubbles just keep getting bigger. This is going to be the biggest bubble. Anyways, at least it'll be the biggest bubble in the near term until the next biggest bubble. Guys, let me know what you think. Does Ando Finance become the next FTX type of thing? Who knows? Maybe it becomes like a signature bank, right? It becomes one of those, right? Or SVG Bank. All of a sudden, one day they're just closing their doors. Who knows? Guys, that does it for today. Stay vigilant, and I am going to catch you all next week.